How's it going out there, everyone? W.F.S. here, and I want to talk to you today about the 5th season, episode 9 of Star Trek Discovery. I think I've said this to all of you before, that when I found out that this was the final season and that it was supposed to be better than all the rest, I said, what the hell? Let me take a look at this because, again, it's the final season of this show. Not a big fan of it, but who knows? Maybe they'll pull a rabbit out of their hat. This has been a struggle for me. It really, really has been a struggle. I mean, I sometimes start to understand why some people drink. This thing has been both good and painful to watch. It's really irritated me. Now, I'm not going to review this episode because I really haven't done a lot of reviewing of the whole season, but I have watched certain things that bother the living heck out of me, and I want to vent on that. This is supposed to be the final season, and I feel like I'm watching a friggin' soap opera, not a sci-fi show. This episode is directed by Jonathan Frakes. Commander Riker, or Captain Riker in Picard. Why question Jonathan Frakes? After all, he gave us such fantastic things as short treks.
Did you, just pick your nose with a hand?
Of course! Picking our nose is a sign of respect among our people.
Okay, so in case you don't know it, this entire season is based off of one episode from TNG, The Chase, where an alien race encoded humanoid life throughout the galaxy with their DNA shaping the beginnings of life on various worlds. Now, in Discovery, they have really blown this whole plot, this whole device to a whole new level. They have called these aliens the progenitors. Now, the progenitors, according to Discovery here, not only have this device that could seed planets with their DNA, but supposedly it has the ability to bring back the dead. It could bring back planets that have died out. I mean, this is just ridiculous storytelling. I mean, if you think about it, if the progenitors, as they call them, had the ability to, 1, create planets, 2, seed those planets, why would they go to all the trouble of seeding worlds that already existed when they can just seed brand new ones? The plot to me just seems kind of ridiculous. Okay, so as I said, I have a big problem with this episode, with this whole season. Here's the stupidity of the whole thing. They have been hunting for these clues for the entire season, clue after clue, finally leading them up to the 9th episode where they discover the progenitor technology encased in a diranium shell that has been there for 800 years. They encased these scientists encased it 800 years ago in this technology, this duranium. And the technology itself, this is the stupidity of this, has been between these two black holes for 4 billion years. Really? 4 billion years? This makes no sense to me. So the progenitors seeded the galaxy with humanoid life and then decided to drop this thing off? Why? What's the point? Anyway, here comes more stupidity for this.
We have to get it on board.
Captain, we have a warp signal incoming. It's Rune's Dreadnought.
How long till they're here?
Right now.
Weapons ready if we need them.
They're taking the structure.
Asha!
I can't get us there in time.
Can you stop the tractor beam from here?
We'd have to drop our cloak.
Yes.
Now, here's where the stupidity of this scene comes into play. They arrived 2, maybe 3 minutes before the Breen show up. And they spend all this time marveling at the awe of the technology and the duranium casing that it's in. Unlike the Breen, who had more intelligence, they warped in, saw what they wanted, tractor beamed it, and that was the end of it. They wasted time. This is what this show has been more about. Talk and wasting time. Another problem that I have is this particular scene right here helps to prove a point that this show is not more about science fiction than it is about love stories. For the love of God, I count at least four different love stories in this one episode. It is ridiculous. And these two here are probably the ones that irritate me the most. Okay, I get it. They like each other. They're in love with each other. That's fine. Seeing they want to express their affections, so be it. No problem there. But here is where the stupidity and the annoying thing about these two bugs the heck out of me.
And start firing with everything we've got.
I just heard. Are we really doing this?
Apparently.
Okay, this scene right here, as I said, this is really dumb to me. They are about to go into battle, and the doctor, he's a doctor who should be in his sick bay getting ready to receive casualties, and he comes running away from his post to run down to the engine room to be with his friend. This is the stupidest thing I've seen. Again, problems that I have with this episode, and it feels more like a soap opera than it does a science fiction show. These two right here, Burnham and Brooke. These two were in love with each other. They had issues. They broke up at season 4. Now in season 5, Burnham was in a mindscape where it was where one of the clues was. And in there, she had to realize to herself that she kind of needs to stop being so full of herself. She needs to be more open and be more compassionate. And that's when she realized that she was still deeply in love with Brooke here. But here's the problem. The issue that I have with these two is, in the middle of a high-stakes mission, the Breen have captured the Progenitors' technology, and they have devised a plan to sneak aboard the ship. 2 people will head to the bridge to see if they can deactivate the Breen shields, while the other 2, Brooke and Burnham there, will go to the shuttle bay to see if they can steal the Progenitors' technology. In the midst of this high-stakes mission, Burnham decides to pull Brooke aside and tell him how she feels. They're on the clock here. It's a race against time. And like before, when the ship arrived in a sector and they found the technology spinning in space, rather than instantly zapping it with a tractor beam like the Breen did, they talked and waited and talked and analyzed. That is exactly what she's doing here. Rather than getting right down to the engine room or the shuttle bay to get the technology, she wants to talk about her feelings some more. For the love of God, stop it! Out of all the characters on this show, Commander Raynor is absolutely my favorite. And I'm going to be serious about this. This guy's a no-nonsense guy. Unfortunately, he's around a bunch of touchy-feely, wishy-washy characters that drives me crazy. Apparently, he's a very antsy person, so in the middle of this tense situation, he's not sitting in the command chair. He's walking around. He's giving orders. He's asking questions. And at the same time, he's just circling the bridge. And apparently, it's getting people upset. And his temporary first officer, who has to challenge him on this.
Respectfully, the pacing, you're making everybody nervous. You can sit in the captain's chair, you know.
If I felt like it, I would.
If it were a Klingon ship, I would have killed you for offering your suggestion.
Now, to be fair about it, they respect each other. That's why he asked for her to be his temporary first officer. I get that. But it's just the fact that on this particular ship, everybody has to offer up an opinion. Chain of command doesn't seem to matter. It's just like she's right in the middle of a crowded bridge. She could have pulled him aside, but no, she leans over and says, "Sir, excuse me." This bothers me. I expect better from Star Trek than this writing. It's just like, everything's out the door with this thing. It's overboard. There's too much love. There's too much emotional content. It drives me crazy. That's like the villains, Mull and Locke. Locke died. Mull's purpose now is to get the Progenitors' technology so she can bring Locke back to life, her lost lover. This whole episode has been about lovers. It's so irritating, and maybe I'm just reading into this something that's not there, but this is just something that I see. I'm going to end the video right here, but I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments on this. So please drop them below. Let me know. And until the next time, God bless, my friends.